What's up, speed addicts? Today is the day that we can go ahead and put all that together. And let me give you an overview of what all that we're gonna accomplish on this episode. First thing first is we get to install this Ptfe line. This line is what they call E85 fuel compatible. We also get to install this awesome Engine Dynamics fuel filter. And also, we decided to do a little bit bigger injector and a lot of bit cheaper injector. So let me show you what injectors we chose. Wow, check that out. We got some 1650cc injectors from Evolved Injection. There's all their contact information. And with that also came what's in this box. Let me open this box up. Inside the box is these conversion pigtails. I don't know if you remember before, but we wired in the pigtail for this. The new injectors has this style, which looks like it's like an EV1 style. So once again, this is an adapter to convert from EV1 to whatever this is. So first things we need to do is we need to figure out where we want to put this little guy at. And there will be a bracket needing to be made, maybe a little welding. What I'm thinking, or what we're thinking is something like that. That way you can still see it, it's still serviceable. And then there's a bolt hole down there that we can utilize. So let me go ahead and start taking a few measurements and figuring out what all we're gonna need to make this happen. All right, speed addicts. So I went ahead and made the back bracket that bolts up to this fuel filter housing. So let me go ahead and bolt that up, and then we'll figure out how tall we want this thing, the back bracket, to sit. All right, I come up with my measurement of 7 inches in height, and then I want another 3 inches where I'm gonna drill my 2 holes at. And I guess in this episode, I am gonna be doing some welding because I'm gonna have to weld this piece to this here. All right, Speedheads Garage, I didn't bring y'all along for welding it, but I welded the two together. That side is pretty flush. That side is done. So it's still a little hot. I'm gonna hit it with some compressed air. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt it up to the fuel filter housing, and then I'm gonna go ahead and install it. Check out what it looks like. There we go. The bracket is done. And what I end up having to do is the flat stock by itself bent was not enough structure. It was kind of flimsy. So what I ended up having to do is weld a brace in there. And now that we got that brace on there, that joker is tweaked. And by the way, all the fittings that we're using are the O-ring style fittings, kind of like this one right here. It's got the O-ring on the threads. Put a little Vaseline on them O-rings and we'll install them. All right, guys, the Ptfe lines are a little bit different to install than the traditional AND lines. And the good thing about this kit that Adam got from Evil Energy, they basically give you a nice step-by-step process on how to do this, start to finish. Looks like you separate this, cut this to the length you want, slide that down. You're supposed to take this tool and push it in. It's supposed to separate this outer coating from this inner Teflon hose. And then you're supposed to take this ferrule, and the ferrule goes around the inner hose, and basically you got to push it all the way in till it gets to that little lip, and cut all the frayed material off, push this into place, and then you know, tighten the two together. So let's see how we can do it. I did the other side. I'm not real confident with that side, so I'll probably redo it. But let's see if we can do this side, start fresh. I'm gonna use like this tool right here, some kind of pick tool of some sort to kind of loosen up this outer sleeve, separate it from the inner seal or the inner hose. Now we're gonna take this ferrule, the smaller section of the ferrule, go on the outside like this. Yeah, that was easier. So looks like it's all the way in. It didn't take much pressure. So now we take this piece, slide down the middle. Actually, let me put a little lubricant on that. Actually, I think I know what this tool is for now. So I got the ferrule in there. You push that tool in there, it kind of opens it up. It pushes that white Teflon center to the outside of this ferrule. Also kind of opens it up a little bit. I think it's to make this slide in, but I still do want to put a little petroleum. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Nope, pushed in there perfectly fine. Slide is sealed. Actually, let me cut some of this fray material off real quick. That's how much I got left over. And then let me see if I can slide this up, get it started. Use my 24 millimeter wrench. We got both ends all done. Like I said, I ended up redoing that 90. I tried to redo it, but I was having a hard time. I was probably fighting for maybe 25 minutes. Come to find out, I could not reuse the ferrule. I don't know if it got distorted or what. So I ended up using another ferrule from a straight, because we're probably not gonna be using any of these straights. And it ended up working. So now we're about to go ahead and install it back in the Supra. And we're gonna continue to start making the lines. And I'll probably cut you back on when we get all the lines done. So we got the feed line coming from the fuel pump going to the filter. And before we make this line here that goes to the rail, we need to install our injectors. All right, one of the main reasons, actually I think we got two reasons why we switched to these injectors. For one, the old injectors that we had, I think there was Fuel Injection Clinic. They were pretty expensive, and they were eye candy. They were eye candy because the top hat section was that nice little purple color. And as you guys already know, we got purple tits and bits all over the engine bay. So we decided, hey, we can actually sell those other more expensive injectors and get these injectors, which are the right size, significantly cheaper. And on top of that, they're a bigger injector. So we don't ever have any kind of issue as far as fuel pressure and running out of fuel. Now we got some 1650s instead of the ones we had before. Also, with these evolved injectors, it came with an injector data sheet. So in case you wanted to put in dead times and latency and all that kind of stuff, you can do so. But most importantly, it shows all the flow rates, and I'm sure they all got to be within a certain percentage of each other. So thank you, Evolved Injection, for sending us some injectors. And when we fire this puppy up, we'll let you know how they run. And you can't go wrong with Earl fittings. This one here is going back in the back for the return, going back into the tank, soft line to tank. And then we got this 45 here that's gonna go from the regulator to the factory soft line, because we are using OEM return lines back to the tank. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna run a line from here to this point here. And out of the fitting kit that we have, we end up having this U shape. But what I end up having to do is I end up having to open this U-shaped style fitting up. Because what I'm trying to achieve is I'm trying to have this line snake back behind here. Let me show you how I end up opening this up a little bit. So to start off with, I end up using a 22 and a 24. And this is kind of like an old mechanics trick. What I end up doing is if you set this thing up like this, so you know wrenches always have like a slight little angle to it. So you have the back side of each wrench facing each other. What you end up doing is is if you squeeze it right here, it'll basically separate that. And you got to be very careful. I'm sure that you got to do it with a quality fitting. I'm sure that if you do it too much, you probably can bend it, but that's how I achieved that bend. Basically, I was able to get this little U-bend to open up just enough to get the job done. Boy, yeah, look at the finished product. I didn't take you guys along for the journey, but we got our fuel lines and everything ran. So let's make it quick. We got the feed coming from the fuel pump, goes through the filter. It comes out on that fitting that I just showed you I bent. It snakes back behind this bracket that we made, and then it feeds right into the front of the fuel rail. Let's see if you can see it. I went ahead and installed the fuel pressure sending unit that came with the kit of the ECU that we picked to get the job done. You will see that soon. And then we also went ahead and installed these injectors. The same setup happened with the last injectors. With the last injectors, we couldn't use the top hats. Let me show you what they look like. Hey, and on the side note too, Amazon boxes are good for cat houses. That's what the top hats look like. And then you got this little C-clip that holds the top hat with the injectors. And then again, the new injectors that we got, it's a different style plug. I wanna say it's an EV1 style plug. So we end up having to use these adapters that convert the two. It was a headache, and the only reason it was a headache is because of the stock throttle body. It's got some kind of plunger type of deal that I think it works with the idle. Possibly it works also with the transmission, but either way, that was in the way. So once again, we couldn't use the top hats, meaning that the rail and all that stuff was closer to the intake manifold or closer to the head. And what happened is there's only a limited amount of space in there, so it was pretty aggravating, to be honest with you. But we got it installed. Look at that right there. This is Adam's flavor right here. I don't know where he got it from. It looked like, of course, it was custom made, but we got that special intake made out of titanium. We got the clear cover all bolted down. And we also went ahead and installed our blow-off valve. Once again, this color is Illusion Purple. And then I didn't film it, but we also got down there at the bottom. Let me see if I can get you a closer look. You see that down at the bottom? That's the air intake temperature sender. So I ended up having to drill a hole in that puppy and weld that into place. So me and my wife, or me and little mama, we got to bleed the brakes, put the wheels on, and after that, it's time to install the ECU of choice. This ECU is bad to the bone. It wasn't cheap, but it's kind of necessary because when we get to it, you'll understand why it's necessary. But until then, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I appreciate you guys stopping by, watching the channel. Hope you learned something. Most importantly, I hope you had a good time and you laughed. And we're gonna jump back on the Nissan here shortly, so stick around. And then we also got a right-hand drive Sylvia Cadillac swap conversion that we pulled into the garage as well to get ready for a drift event. So once again, check you guys later. Be safe out there.